Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for January 23rd, 2021, presented by Mercury. Hey, we're going to spend some time today with Tom Mott talking about Guntersville, and we got a special guest in studio, Bassmaster Elite Series Pro Wes Logan and Bucks Island Pro staffer. He's going to tell us all about Weiss and Neely, and he's going to hit on Logan Martin and Elite Lake with us. So spending a few minutes with us, learn how to catch some fish on your body of water. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, January the 23rd, presented by Mercury. We got a special guest in our studio today, Wes Logan, Bassmaster Elite Series Pro from down here in Springville, Alabama. Wes, local Neely Henry, Weiss Lake expert. Tell us what's going on Weiss Lake these days.
Being an expert might be a little bit of a stretch, but we can start at Weiss up at the top. I haven't been on Weiss lately, but I do know the kind of patterns that are normally you want to run this type of year or time of year. I think they had a weekend tournament up there the other day, and I heard 18 may have won it, but I don't think a lot of fish were caught. I think if you get a bite on Weiss right now, it's really good quality, whether you're going for spotted bass or largemouth. I think some of the guys are catching them cranking, shallow cranking, with square bills or like a DT6, like a medium diver. Then you've got the other guys fishing more flatter type, stumpier areas with a lipless bait. And then I know some of the guys are fishing more steep, bluffier style baits or long running points with a jerk bait. So just because it's cold doesn't mean you have to slow way down. You just have to figure out the kind of cadence you want to use with a moving hard bait for reaction type strikes and stuff like that. And then you've got your basic Coosa River, fishing a jig around docks and wood and any kind of isolated stuff like that on Weiss.
So Neely Henry, I know we got to be careful about what kind of information you can collect these days because you're going to be fishing an Elite Series event. But typically, Neely
Which
Henry,
I am looking forward to.
Yes, I think you would be. Neely Henry, what kind of things people want to look at this time of the year? Because I know you haven't been spending too much time, but
I haven't been on the water this year, but I have, in years past fished all throughout the winter, just trying to stay up with before our season starts. And most of the time I've had the best luck. The main bait that's a really good bait for all throughout the Coosa chain is a shad wrap. Just going by watercolor is what color shad wrap you really want to throw. I like a number 6 and a number 7. If the water's kind of clean, you want a shad pattern. If it gets a little bit dirtier, you want to go to a chartreuse or a crawfish pattern. So just crank and rip wrap, bluff banks, anything with some rock on it or seawalls, anything that can hold some heat with that sunlight. And then you can go another direction and get up real shallow and throw a big spinner bait or a bladed jig, something like that. But just you don't really have to focus on main lake stuff. A lot of time in the wintertime, we get a bunch of current on the actual main drag, the main river, so those fish will get right inside a pocket or a point or something where they're not actually straight in the current, but they can still feed and move in and out of it. So that's really what you want to look for.
Well, I know the crappie bites on the docks and stuff, but Wes, appreciate you spending some time with us. As always, have fun with your boat.
Oh, well, thank you. We're doing great.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, January the 23rd, presented by Mercury. Hey, we're going to be joined by Wes Logan again, talking about Logan Martin and Elite Lake. Wes is an expert on those. He's a Bassmaster Elite Series angler. Been here this week putting his boat together. Wes, Logan Martin, tell us what's going on down there.
Logan Martin, we'll go from bottom end of the lake to upper end of the lake because your patterns and your strategies are going to change a little bit. If you want to fish the lower end of Logan Martin, I would really focus on main lake points with a Alabama rig, a jerk bait, a small swim bait, because most of the time near the dam you're going to have a little bit cleaner water, and you're going to be able to use those type of techniques. Like I said, the jerk bait, the Alabama rig's a really big key player. Moving on up the lake, you're probably going to get into some stained water, a lot more current. That's when you want to, like I said, on the upper lakes, Weiss and Neely, you want to try and get out of the current. Fishing jigs, spinner baits, bladed jigs, square bills. Just your main colors on those, black and blue probably with the jig, white and chartreuse with the spinner bait, and then any kind of red or crawl pattern with the crankbait. If you want to go on up all the way up to the dam and just fish riverbanks, a big spinnerbait and a big jig's what you really want to try and key on.
Well, that's pretty good on Logan Martin. I know people are going to be able to catch a lot of fish doing that. What about lay? What kind of things you want to look? I know it's a little bit different type of fishery. There's a lot more wood up there.
Yeah, lay's going to change a lot. Once you leave from Logan and go to lay, everything kind of changes. Lay doesn't drop down to a winter pool level, so water really stays the same however you want to say it. It doesn't drop to winter pool, so you're going to have a lot of grass in the water. It's going to be dead, but the fish will still attract to that grass as well as the wood cover. Up the lake, you're going to be like the river fishing, the big spinnerbaits, the big jigs on the rocks and wood around the current with the big spotted bass. Move on down the lake around the beeswax to the Narrows area. You're going to have a lot of flooded grass. You can throw your spinnerbaits. A swim jig can be good if you get a warm day. Bladed jigs around the outskirts of that grass. And docks come into play in the wintertime on lay as well, fishing a jig or a square bill around those. Below the Narrows, you have a lot of steeper, bluffier type banks, and that's really where I like to key this time of year. I like to throw a big jig and a spinnerbait like I would up the river, but you don't have near as much current below those Narrows, and you can really get on some really big bags on those bluffier type banks in the wintertime.
Well, that'll do it for Bucks Island here at Lay Lake and Logan Martin. Don't forget, you might want to slow down just a little bit, even though you're fishing reaction baits, because the water does get a little bit cold this time of the year. But thanks for spending some time with us, and we will talk to you next week on the Bucks Island Area Fishing Report. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, January the 23rd, presented by Mercury. Hey, we got Tom Ott up there at Guntersville. Tom, what are you and St. Jennifer up to these days up there on the big waters?
Well, I'm telling you, Dano, it's that time on the G. It's getting there. I got my favorite Guntersville colors on today, a little red, a little orange going on. With all this rain coming in, we've definitely had some mild weather the last 2 weeks. So we've got some stabilization there. It's been nice. The fish are starting to move in, and the big girls are starting to bite for us. So I'm telling you, this is the time right now. If you've ever thrown a lipless rattlebait or you ever thrown a vibrating jig, this is the time you need to get it out there and start casting, because they are there. We got fish moving in. This color is going to really help us a lot. So, you guys are throwing A-rigs, that kind of thing. You may have to play around with a little bit of color, size, just to get a little bit more vibration. But they're definitely moving in. They're ready to eat. And I think some fish are probably starting to move up into some spawning areas. Some of your real big fish are. Those are going to be the hardest ones to catch, of course. But they're starting to move in there. So it's coming on. We're ready for spring, that's for sure. And I think the fish are telling us that they're ready for it.
So you're talking fish moving shallow. What kind of water temperatures are you seeing? That kind of stuff. Are you still fishing around grass? Just give us a rundown real quick.
Yeah, we're still seeing those high 40s, low 50, temps right now. But the drains, the grass edges, anything that's moving into, your typical spawning flats, your areas where those pre-spawn fish are going to start staging up. Those are where we're starting to see some fish. We're not seeing big groups yet, but we are starting to see them start to span. 6 to 4 foot water seems to be really perfect right now. And that could change somewhat with the day as far as the temperature goes. I mean, if you get a real cold snap, cold night, these fish are going to react real hard to a cold front that comes through. So anything along those lines are going to dictate how your day goes, but they're there. They're moving in. The bigger creeks are probably your best, challenge. And when I say bigger creeks, I'm talking north, south Saudis, Town Creek, that kind of thing. So they're coming off the ledges, getting into the drains, starting to hit those small ditches, those little depressions. Now, I'm not saying get up there in dirt yet, but they are certainly starting to move in.
All right, brother. We appreciate everything. Thanks for spending this time with us, and it looks like fun. Talk to you soon. Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, January 23rd, presented by Mercury. Thanks to Wes and Tom for spending the time with us. Don't forget, like, subscribe, follow us on all of our social media channels so that you get notified whenever we go live with information or other social media activities. But thanks for spending some time with us. As always, we appreciate it. And don't forget, come check us out in the loft here at Bucks Island. You can get everything you need to catch fish on your body of water.